You're listening to Negative Camber with Jamie and Lee on Radio Italia Uno 87.6 FM.
Welcome back to Negative Camber, the motorsport show, proudly supporting the Scuderia Ferrari Club Adelaide. We hope you're enjoying the show so far. I've got Charlie Bullis, V8 Supercars journalist, on the line, and we're now going to talk Winton, the event just gone. My summation was that it was the Shane Van Gisbergen and Cam Waters show. I don't know what your takeaway was from that.
It definitely was, with a side of David Reynolds, which I quite enjoyed. Yeah,
it's the big thing for me was Tickford finally delivered in spades at their home track, and it was actually good to see. I think the big thing I found in the championship this year is that the only constant is Shane Van Gisbergen. Everything else underneath that is not. But you're right. The growth of Grove in this championship in particular has been great. So to see Dave back to his best it's great for the sport. You need to have David Reynolds in there, even for his wit.
Oh, absolutely. And a happy David Reynolds is just amazing to be around, genuinely. And I think it's so interesting because we are seeing a very quick trajectory towards a career best David Reynolds this year. I think I was looking at some sort of stats before, and fair enough, there's no win, but his career best of fifth, he's at fifth right now. So he's on this track to, he has given away some points with some DNFs and some other things that have gone wrong, kind of out of his control. So I think I read it was 136 points that have gone awry for him. If he'd have kept those, he would be in shooting distance of where Anton is. So I think, David Reynolds is 100% the one to watch. And it makes me excited because, you put a microphone in front of David Reynolds and you never know what you're going to get. And it makes me laugh. And he's just so honest and nice. And and he will tell you himself, he's an interesting cat. And I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it's there's the times that I've seen Davey in the pit, it's always hey bro, how you going? And he doesn't know me from bar of soap, but it's it's almost like we've got this thing, like it's like, hey Dave, how are you? So I'd love to get him on the show at one point as well. I actually was thinking today, one thing I miss is below the bonnet. Like I don't know what happened and why it's not hasn't come back this year, but it'd be good to have him and Caruso sort of back together again, just firing bullets at each other. It's great. You miss that banter.
Definitely, their banter. Like I do the Paddock Club Q&As, and when I see that Davey Reynolds and Lee Holdsworth are on my list, oh my gosh, I literally rub my hands together and go, this is going to be amazing. We did one in Perth, and oh God, I can't probably tell the story without laughing, but Dale Wood walked in, and they're heckling Dale Wood because everyone says that Dale Wood's got like an amazing rig. Everyone, doesn't matter if Dale Wood walks into a room, everyone screams, show us your rig, like the poor bloke. But so they're heckling Dale Wood, and I'm trying to keep them on track and go, no guys, it's like, let's talk about this, talk about that. And because Davey lives like a stone's throw away from Albert Park, he was taking Lee back to his house afterwards and like making him dinner. So he was putting on like a slow roast. They'd go and race during the day and then they'd come back. And it's just, sorry, I'm going to cough now. But it was just so funny, and I just genuinely enjoy it. But I think Groves, what's so interesting, it's genuine pace. This isn't, Winton's their home track, it's their test track, they're going well there. It's not. Tasmania, he'd go to podium. Melbourne, Albert Park, podium, and now Winton, podiums. So this is a genuine return to form for them. But what was interesting, I found, is that you spoke to, David Couchy, a new addition to that team that's making big inroads pretty quickly. We all knew he would. He comes from Triple Eight. He's a championship winning engineer and he knows how to do it. Talking to Couchy, he thinks qualifying is a big weakness for them. So once they tick that box and get that one lap pace there, and we saw it, Reynolds was topping practice and blitzing everyone, and then he goes to qualifying and it wasn't quite there for him. So everyone struggled with tyres that weekend, But once they get that quite right, then I think they are going to be a real force. And I'm really looking forward to it because it wasn't something that any of us saw happening at the start of this year.
Yeah, no, far from it. And I think it was actually really good to see that Lee Holdsworth had actually gotten on top of his qualifying issues as well, because that was his big. I mean, he's got amazing race pace, but qualifying was a massive issue for him. He just couldn't connect with the car. I remember when we were watching the telecast at Sydney Motorsport Park, and he'd qualified at the back of the grid, and I think it was Chad that came up to him, Chad or Larko, came up to him at the end of qualifying, and he was just as low as he'd ever been. He just could not understand where the speed had gone.
Absolutely. And Lee is someone who's throughout his career has been a consistent performer. And, we saw just absolute magic in him at Bathurst last year with Chaz. Like that was just an incredible display from both of them. And then, to sort of put him in that Mustang, and we were all rightly or wrongly expecting, because that's what we do, we expect highly of all of these guys on the grid. And then it just wasn't connecting for him, as you say. And then we get to Albert Park and we saw little bits of it happening. But then, his pace, like we saw his pace in Perth. He was knocking people off left, right, and centre and charging through the field. So you're right. There was never a question about that race pace. It was the qualifying. Something wasn't clicking. So now I just feel like they're on the precipice. They're literally, they're picking through 1%ers now just to get that unlocked. And once they do, I think it's going to be something quite spectacular. However, Darwin last year for Penrite Racing was not good. Both Andre and Davey, I remember them sitting in those bins, the chili bins filled with water and ice, cooling down. And the pair of them, if they weren't laughing over the fact that the lid kept hitting Andre on the back of the head during the interview, the pair of them would have been crying. They were so downtrodden. So I'm really hoping that they've done enough to turn around Darwin, because we're there in 3 weeks.
Yeah. It was good to see that Walkinshaw and Andretti United had a little bit of an upturn in performance, in particular with Chaz. Earlier in the season when they were just at the back of the grid for, I can't remember which round it was now. You'll need to refresh my memory. But where they were literally the slowest cars on the track, which was phenomenal considering how well their start of the year was, and they'd continue that momentum from Bathurst last year.
Yeah, like to see Chaz leading the championship when we left Sydney, we were all like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is the championship fight that we wanted. And we knew he was going to Tasmania, somewhere that he'd won last year. And then we go to Perth.
Yes,
and
that's right.
Perth. And there's Nick and Chaz, both cannot even qualify in the top 20. And as like the Supercars digital team, we're sitting there scratching our heads going, what is going on with this team? Like, this is just not them. And, and it was, because I just remember I asked Chaz in the press conference in Sydney, I was like, mate, you've won Bathurst, come on. And now you're leading the championship. I don't think I've ever seen a more comfortable and happy Chaz. Like, are we in Chaz Mostert's era? And he's like, well, he laughed at me. He was like, come on, calm down. We're round one. But, I'm loving it. Family's back. People are back at the track. This is great. And then to see what they kind of endured in Perth, and Garth Tander was kind of a bit scathing about their performance and just saying, guys, this isn't you, this isn't good enough. So to sort of see them battling back in Winton was really good. And I think you can't ever write Chaz off. He's talented, he really is. And I think for Nick, we're going to Darwin, where Nick won had a podium last year for BJR. Nick is a great racer. Everyone speaks so highly of Nick's talent, and with good reason. I think we just need to give him some time to develop himself in that car, feel more comfortable in that car. And I think Darwin, even Kurt Kostecki's wild card last year, he made it into the top 10. WAU cars at Darwin, at Hidden Valley, are pretty good. So I'm definitely not writing them off. Their season is far from over. I just think it's probably not going to look like what they maybe thought it would this year.
Yeah, exactly. And look, you're right. there's never been a slow Walkinshaw car at Hidden Valley. I mean, even if you go back as far as the Scaife and Lowndes era, they were always there or thereabouts. So definitely can't write them off. Tickford have been up and down in the past there. They've had some good appearances there, and they've had some shocking ones as well. I think for me, it's really important if Cam's going to make a really, really big play in this championship that they have a really solid Darwin. But I think the same goes with DJR as well. If they don't start to really chew into Shane van Gisbergen's points lead at the moment, that this title race will be well and truly over before we even get to Bathurst.
Yeah, it's interesting. Tickford, I'm a massive Tickford fan. I am. I have to say, I know I'm not meant to play favourites. And my son's favourite driver is Cam Waters. I've told James Courtney that when he retires, I will cry. I won't be able to handle it. I cried when he won the championship in 2010. I just will. So, call me biased, whatever. But I think Tickford kind of like being an underdog. They like it. Last year in Townsville won. It was abysmal. Give them a week and give them something to chase and something to really, be the underdog. They came back the following week and Cam obliterated everyone. So again, we saw it in Perth. The penalty, which I won't go into, saw him lose the win. And he comes back, and even his engineer, his direct quote was, he's going to harness the frustration. Comes back in Winton, 2 poles, 2 wins. So I think Tickford love being an underdog. I think it fuels them in a way, but by all means, they deserve to be up there and challenging for wins all the time. And I would love to see Tom Randall really get a handle on what he's doing as well at the moment. I think in Winton, we saw him running consistently 12, 14s, which for him, there was a smile on his face. I think the last few rounds, he's felt quite under pressure and felt quite just not comfortable. Whereas Winton, we saw him leaving with a smile. So I'm hoping that's a trajectory for him that's just going to keep growing. We've seen James Courtney on the podium this year. We saw him leading a race in Perth, and that was amazing. So I think Tickford, they definitely have it without a shadow of a doubt. I just genuinely think they do enjoy being the underdog and rising to that underdog challenge. They do enjoy it.
Yeah, you're definitely right. JC is certainly connected with his Mustang this year. It's been the best he's been in terms of outright pace, and I think overall competitiveness for probably at least 3 or 4 years. So it's good to see. He's still a class act, irrespective of experience, age, etc. So he'll definitely play a part as the championship wears on, without a doubt. But Tom Randall too is also a very, very classy driver. So I think by the end of the year, he'll be a lot more prominent in the top 10 without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. And I keep asking because Snowy River Caravans is James Courtney's sponsor this year, and we saw him with a Cobra in Winton. So I'm just going to put it out there and say that he has to release a line of Akubras because no one would do it better. I just think he's just got it. It would just be hilarious if we could just go to a racetrack and buy an Akubra. I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we on the show have a segment called Jamie's Jokes, which is really a series of really bad dad jokes. And I know, based on your social media, that you love a dad joke or two.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have a dad joke off. And then we'll include this in the show, of course. And then later on, we'll do another segment of Jamie's Jokes as well. So I don't know whether you want to go first, considering you're our guest of honor for this evening, but I'll let you go.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to kick off with the IKEA one that I teased earlier because this one, I'm really going to try and not laugh because I'll probably go into a coughing fit from my flu. Okay. So the CEO of IKEA has just been appointed the Prime Minister of Sweden. He's currently assembling his cabinet.
I like that one. That's good. That's good.
So,
all right. This might actually get you laughing. All right.
God, okay, go.
What did the shipmates find in the toilet?
Oh, I don't know.
The captain's log.
Oh, I read that one this morning.
Oh God,
That
that's
is
great.
good.
That is
Oh,
good. All
I
right,
think
fire another one out.
what I absolutely love is that people send me dad jokes now, and Warren Luff, who I adore in so many ways, we only communicate in dad jokes. So there's no hi, how are you, good morning. We just send each other dad jokes. That's all we do, and it's
Oh,
just
that's great.
the best, absolute best. So do you want to read? I'll read you some of the ones that Luffy sent me if you like.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
go.
He will love that. He will just think he's hilarious. I always give him a shout out. He's such a good bloke. Gosh,
Yeah.
he actually sent me the captain's log one. But let's find another one that he sent me. If you think your microwave collecting data and the TV spying on you is bad enough, the vacuum cleaner has been gathering dirt on you for years.
Oh man, that's gold. I've just deleted all the German names off my pre-owned iPhone. It's hands-free now.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I like that one. That is very, very good. I actually do have one that's probably a little bit political. Can I
Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right.
I'll give you authority.
What do you call a Russian bedpan?
What?
A Putin. Probably going to lose my job over that one. But anyway.
All right. This will be my last one. So after you die, the last part of your body to stop working are your pupils because they dilate.
Oh, you win. I cannot follow that one. That was so good.
You have my permission to use it.
Oh, okay. That is amazing. I'm going to send that one to Warren Luff. He will love that.
Go for it.
He will love that. So good. Wonderful.
Charlie, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And unfortunately, due to time constraints, we could probably talk for another 3/4 of an hour about everything. So yeah, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
No, thank you. I truly enjoy it. And it's such a wonderful thing to, we've known each other for way over a year now. And yeah, to be a part of the show, it means a lot to me. So thank you so much.
Yeah, well, look, very briefly before we ended up, I was thinking about it the other week where we've done this show for about 12 months and you're actually our first female guest. So it's something that, I sort of sat back and thought, wow, we've done this show for 12 months. We haven't had a woman on the show, and yet women in motorsport is as prominent as there's ever been. So you are our first female guest of honor.
I am extremely honored. Thank you so much. I know that there's so many other, wonderful men and women that will come back on the show for sure. So thank you.
Hey, spread the word in the pit lane. Toddy's tried to do it, but yeah, if it comes from the media, there's nothing more powerful than that.
Definitely. I can't write about myself, but I'll definitely spread the word.
I think you've earned the right. So,
well, thank you, guys.
We'll leave you to it. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. We'll be right back after this short break with Formula One on Negative Camber.